Hello, and thank you for clicking on this video. Before the video starts, I need you to do two things to help this channel grow. One is subscribe down below, and the second is like this video and share it with anybody that you want to spread MMA news to, whether it's family, friends, anybody. I always appreciate your support. And now let's get to the video.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tyler Russo, and this is the KO Podcast, episode number 55. In this episode, I will be reviewing PFL 4, that is part of the 2024 regular season. We had heavyweights and women's flyweights. I was there in person covering the event at Mohegan Sun. Just wanted to shout out the PFL PR team. They treated all of the media great. They treated me great. It was a great experience. Had a blast covering this event in person. Once again, shout out to PFL and their team. They were amazing, and I hope that they come back to the Northeast soon. And we also have UFC this weekend. UFC Fight Night, Perez versus Tara. Ring that bell. PFL 4 took place at Mohegan Sun Arena. Let's get to the fights. We had a women's flyweight bout. We had Juliana Vasquez, the former Bellator women's flyweight champion. She took on Lisa Malden. And in the second round, Vasquez gets the ground and pound TKO. Vasquez really needed this win. She's coming off another loss to Liz Carmouche at PFL 1. And prior to that, in Bellator, she had lost to Liz Carmouche 2 other times, so she was on a 3-fight skid from solely Liz Carmouche. So I was very happy to see Juliana Vasquez get a win. Moving on, we had a heavyweight bout. We had Tim Johnson taking on Delano Marquez, and Tim Johnson had one of the craziest and it looked like most painful low blows that I have ever seen. Tim Johnson, he threw a left hook and he dropped Marquez, but also at the same time, Marquez threw a low blow kick that landed right in between his legs. Johnson was down for a while, but he is tough and he's not going to give up. So he took the time to recover. He came back, and in that same round, he gets the stoppage victory by ground and pound. So Tim Johnson, what a win for him. Had to go through some adversity. Moving on, we had a women's flyweight bout. We had Ilara Joanny taking on Shanna Young, and Ilara Joanny gets the unanimous decision victory. Moving on to the heavyweights, we had Tyrell Fortune taking on Marcelo Gome, and Tyrell Fortune comes away with the unanimous decision victory. Moving on to more heavyweight action, we had Oleg Popov taking on Devon Franklin, and Oleg Popov gets the unanimous decision victory. Now let's get to the main card. Kicking off the main card, we had a women's flyweight bout that I was very much looking forward to. We had Talia Santos taking on Jenna Bishop, both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners. Was very excited to see their grappling exchanges. And Talia Santos gets the split decision victory. Jenna Bishop, although she lost, I was very impressed with her performance. I mean, Santos is probably the toughest opponent that she has faced in her career, and she was able to, go to the scorecards. She did have one judge go in her favor, but still, really good showing by Bishop. But Talia Santos, she continues on her winning ways. Moving on to a woman's flyweight bout, we had Liz Carmouche, the former Bellator flyweight champion, take on Kanta Wannabe. And in the third round, with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left, Liz Carmouche gets the armbar submission victory. She was down on all of the judges' scorecards, so if she did not pull off that armbar submission, Liz Carmouche was going to lose this. Kanta Wannabe fought a really good fight, just she got her arm caught in a bad way. Wannabe really grappled heavy for this fight. She wasn't really looking to stand with Liz Carmouche until the third round. Obviously, in their first meeting, Liz Carmouche ended the fight pretty quickly and emphatically with strikes. So Wannabe was very wary of Carmouche's striking prowess. But man, what a win for Liz Carmouche. Moving on to the heavyweights, we have Dennis Goldstein taking on Thiago Santos, who stepped in on short notice. And Dennis Goldstein gets the TKO from punches from back control. Obviously, before that, I believe Goldstein put Santos down with a hook, and that's really what started that sequence. Thiago Santos, unfortunately, just has not looked good since that Jon Jones loss. His only win in this time period from his Jon Jones fight was a unanimous decision victory against Johnny Walker, and that was in October of 2021. I saw that fight. Not really a crazy entertaining fight, but he did get the W there, but he's been on a very long losing streak since that Walker victory. I'm not sure where Thiago Santos goes from here, so he is in a tough spot. Goldstein gets the much needed win, of course, to move on to the PFL heavyweight playoffs. Now, moving on to the co-main event of the night, we had a women's flyweight bout. We had Dakota Ditcheva taking on Chelsea Hackett, and Dakota Ditcheva gets the job done in the first round. A nasty body shot got it done for her. The PFL are obviously pushing Dakota Ditcheva to be the new face of their women's MMA in the company, and I cannot blame them. Ditcheva has done everything in impressive fashion. She has already won a PFL Europe Championship, and that's what got her the shot to be in the PFL regular season. She's very talented. She has great kickboxing, and you can just see her punches and kicks. They're so sharp. She throws everything with pinpoint accuracy and meaning, and she is fun to watch. She seems like the complete package. She seems calm, cool, and collected when she talks to the media. You know, very well spoken, so I can understand why PFL, they want to catapult her into being a face in their company. Now, I'm very excited to see how she does in the PFL playoffs. Looking forward to her next fight. I'm going to say that it's going to be her and Liz Carmouche facing off for that $1 million check. I'm very excited for this PFL playoffs. Now, let's get to the main event of this card. We had a heavyweight bout. We had Linton Vassell taking on Valentin Moldavsky. And Linton Vassell gets the split decision against Moldavsky. But there is a caveat. Valentin Moldavsky gets into the playoffs and Vassell does not, because of the point totals that they had going into this fight. So Linton Vassell, he does get the W, but does not move on to the PFL playoffs. But he said after the fight that he would be ready to be an alternate for anyone who got injured or had any complications. So this may not be the end of Vassell's season. We just have to see how the cards play out. And that was it for PFL 4 at Mohegan Sun. Again, it was a good event, a lot of good fights. The crowd at Mohegan is always interesting to hear what they have to yell out. You know, I can tell that they are fight fans. They love a good fist fight. There's been so many legendary fights at Mohegan Sun Arena. So if there's any MMA organization listening right now, please, please, please come to Mohegan Sun. It is a great arena, and the fans, they do love it, even though sometimes they give some instructions that aren't really what you should be doing. But hey, fans, they pay their tickets. They say what they want to say. It's always a fun atmosphere in that arena. Now, let's get to UFC. UFC Fight Night. Perez versus Tara is at the UFC Apex. So, let's get into some fights. We have a men's flyweight fight. We got Nick Maness taking on Jimmy Flick. Moving on, we have another men's flyweight bout. We got Tajar Bekov, I believe that's how you say his name. And as I am recording this, I have just read that Bekov has missed weight by 3.5 pounds. He weighed in at 129.5. As of right now, as of recording, I have no idea if this fight is going to be called off or what is going to happen. He is supposed to take on a hot prospect in the name of Joshua Van in that men's flyweight division. Definitely a top prospect, but again, I am not sure if this fight is going to happen. Moving on to the main card, we got a welterweight bout. We got Adam Fugit taking on Josh Quinlan. Should be a fun fight. Josh Quinlan obviously has a lot of power. He's had some pretty good knockouts. He is on a 2-fight losing streak, so look for him to be extra aggressive. Moving on, we got a men's flyweight bout. We got Asu Alambev, I believe that's how you say his name, taking on Jose Johnson. Moving on to the bantamweight division, we got Garrett Armfield. He's taking on Brady Heinstand. And moving on, we have a featherweight bout. We got Lucas Almeida taking on Timmy Kumba. I believe that's how you say his last name. Now, for the co-main event of this card, we got a bantamweight bout. We got Miles John taking on Douglas Silva de Andrade, who is a veteran in the UFC. He's been in the UFC for quite some time now. And now, getting to this main event, it is a men's flyweight fight. We have Alex Perez, the former title challenger. He makes a quick turnaround, and he takes on flyweight prospect Toshiro Tara. And Toshiro Tara is 15-0, and he is only 24 years old. He's younger than me. I mean, come on. Obviously, when this guy came into the UFC, I think a lot of us could see that there is something really special with Toshiro Tara. This is going to be a really good fight, and this main event, although this, the rest of the card isn't really that strong. It's lacking some, talent, if you want to say, but this main event is a good main event. So if you can only watch one fight on this card, I would watch the main event. Alex Perez, he is a pretty action-packed fighter when he's on, and I mean, he just beat Mathis Nikolai with a right hook, and that was in April. So quick turnaround for Perez. He is an all-action fighter. He's got good submission game, and he has good striking. Toshiro Tara, I think he's going to take this one, and I think he's going to do it in impressive fashion. because I think he is going to be the next contender in this men's flyweight division. And that is going to do it for this episode of the KO Podcast. To stay up to date with the podcast in all of my social media bios, there is a link tree. Please click on that, and it's going to take you to where the podcast is on all platforms. Even it will take you to the podcast website. And again, a big thank you to PFL and their team. I am very grateful that they decided to have me there covering their event in person. It is always an honor when I can cover events in person. It truly means a lot to me. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it.